these teams would, as they were playing yesterday, not be able to match up to the strength that Lin Vision was bringing. So this is just the warm-up game for both of these teams. Rare Atom, they did come close at points to really hammering it home to the side of Lin Vision, but if they can't even beat Wings Up convincingly, that's definitely a pointer to the fact that they may struggle once again going into that final, should they be the ones to make it.
Well, let's see if they can. Overpass is here, the second map in this rematch best of 3 in the consolidation final. Got to try and now find out which one of these two teams is going to be able to bring the heat, with Wings Up starting on the CT side. Rare Atom, as a result of that, will be starting on the inverse. Yin and Yang, as they are now on the T side. So Jamyong is going to be playing entry, hard entry as a matter of fact, up towards Divider and up through the bathrooms. Bingo is going to be here, I think, with LAN on top of this A site at the moment. Flashbangs in their eyes and space being afforded for free for the T's, but now more players starting to barrel into the site, barreling through the smokes. The frags are thick and fast, but still Bingo holds strong. Jamyong looking for the frag, can't find it. Bingo stays alive now. Kaze leaps over into Optimus. It's the dual Berettas, and they're going one-on-one against Messiah. It's going to be WUgaSsS against Messiah, and Messiah one-taps him into oblivion. That's going to be the first round for Rare Atom. That's 3 pistol rounds in this series, and that's a great start. Better than they could ever have hoped for.
Isn't it fitting that Mosaic, the king of both pistol rounds on Inferno, is the one to finish it here on Overpass? But also, how the hell does Bingo get 3 kills from that position, even after 2 of them jump over Truck and try and decimate him? He manages to get the bomb down in his presence there, so if that kill hadn't come through from Mosaic, then that would have been a far tougher round for Rare Atom. And, well, in fact, they would have lost the round, because Mosaic was, of course, the last one alive. But Bingo does so damn well. It's just unfortunate he can't get the last one. But Bingo, talking of that final pistol kill, he certainly gets it in the start of the second round. A gorgeous decapitation, avenging himself onto none other than Mosaic. That is an AK lost down towards B short very early doors, and one that LAN will be able to go and retrieve. Bomb in the meantime heads towards the A site via long, but this is not the start that Rare Atom would have wanted in their second round.
Not the start they would have wanted, but maybe the conclusion can be something that they would like. Like I said yesterday, it's not about how you start, it's all about how you finish. And with Bingo boosting up his teammate with that recovered AK-47, they're going to look to try and get something done. LAN is not going to really get anything with that, though. Mercury just covering his teammates, planting that bomb, and now it's a 4 versus 4 with the superior firepower clearly and firmly on the Rare Atom side. They've got the bomb planted, so all things are coming up rosy as now they start to emerge out of bank, out of stairs, and they're all starting to find their feet. That's another AK-47 going to be recovered, or at least a Galil. The frags are still coming in thick and fast. Both Galils now recovered. They're going to try and pressure the players at Divider. Meanwhile, WUgaSsS is going aggressive. A MAC-10 up close is not going to be ideal. There's no defuse happening at present, though, especially now that Child King gets taken off the bomb. Kaze and Advent get the job done together as they now find their second round, admittedly in messy circumstances.
Yeah, Wings Up definitely made that one expensive, and on the flip side, that's going to give them a little bit of confidence going into this one. Advent's still got that Galil in tow. Mosai's back onto the MAC-10. It's not the greatest of buys for the side of Rare Atom in their third round.
Certainly not.
And Mosaic, as much as he is fantastic at creating space with whatever weapon Rare Atom seem to give him, it would still be far more admirable should he be on the AK-47. Things up in the flip side, make that 5 A1S is looking rather deadly, waiting patiently for Rare Atom to push into their barrels.
Patience is a virtue, one of which I have very little. But you can tell the nature of that previous round, in which there was quite a heavy casualty taken for Rare Atom. Because you can see that Mosiah has to go for a MAC-10, and there's still Galils on the field. Now, this MAC-10 is likely as not going to be very ineffective here against the fully armored opponents, unless it can get up very, very close. Doesn't really have many other uses in the particular circumstance, but the A execute comes on in, a Molotov towards Bank, sorry, a smoke towards Bank, a Molotov towards Optimus, and then one on towards the site, and Mercury has found two very swift, very prompt entries, and even makes it a triple. The triple kill for Mercury as he slides on into the site, Messiah in behind, and there goes that Mach 10 like I was talking about, but as you can see, the time to kill is exceptionally long when the players have armor, and as a result, WUgaSsS now left 1 versus 4, will be doing everything he can to save this AK-47, this M4A1S.
It's okay, we'll get there eventually.
We'll get there one day. But WUgaSsS, he understands that with his soaring prices, he needs to keep something in reserve.
Dear.
So austerity measures, a bit like the Tory government, for WUgaSsS to try and get this one sorted.
We love our politics here.
Probably the wrong place for it, let's be real. But Rare Atom, a good start for them. They get the 3-0 conversion. WUgaSsS will really be the only threat to moving into the next round. It will likely as not have to be some semblance of a half-buy or even down to an eco if they feel they are so way inclined. Rare Atom should, all things being well, be able to get a comfy 4th on the board here too.
The agenda of this T-side, though, I did a little bit of reading into it recently, and there's actually a bunch of lore for CSGO. It's fascinating. I think Jesus did a video on it recently.
Oh, yeah.
But,
would you care to share?
So, yeah, sure thing. All of the CTs are working in tandem for something called like the Corporation, and all of the Ts, or for the most part, are working for the Phoenix, like in the CSGO operations. And that has continued on through, and some of the voice lines are very telling as to the fact there is a deeper story, especially if you're playing Danger Zone. But yeah, you know, the sayings, you know, it's us or them, and this is what we're fighting for, all that stuff. But enough of my CSGO lore, as Mosaic.
Hold on a minute.
Has he just snuck past LAN?
Yeah, LAN 100% can swing out any moment here, though.
No, LAN!
Oh, the trigger discipline! Oh. There was a moment there where there was 2 that could have been snagged up, because I think LAN was looking greedy for something else.
I don't think he even saw him. He walked out and didn't check left.
Oh, he could have done, you know. That could be what happened. But either way, it doesn't matter. It's redundant now as they go in towards the A site. Sure, Child King gets an AK-47 to go and play with. He's now got that one to go and add to the party. WUgaSsS gets another on to Advent, a 3 versus 5. The firepower really left wanting for the Wings upside, but it is being bolstered with every single kill they get. 2 more from Mercury. Those level the playing field. And there goes Jamyoung taking 2 rifles out the equation. And then Mercury, who started this map hot as hell, forget 7-0-7. He's got 7 kills in 4 rounds. He's a completely different man from yesterday, reborn in the ashes, a phoenix rising as Rare Atom find their 4th.
That was a fantastic round from Mercury and Jamyoung there. Mercury does all the heavy lifting, and then Jamyoung has the nerve to just sit tight on bench and cuts down the 2 rotating Wings Up players. And if Rare Atom are able to keep up such a dominant start as this, Wings Up are going to be staring down the barrel of a lot of trouble. But on the flip side, Rare Atom will now be staring down the barrel of the AWP of LAN. And LAN had far more of a resurgence yesterday on Overpass than he did on their own map pick of Inferno. So hopefully he's able to wriggle his way into the game a little bit more prominently any moment now. And hopefully he sees the opposition this time instead of walking past them with his CZ in tow. But that's a story in the past as Mosaic is looking to make his presence known. But they're going to just walk straight on past him through sewers here. That's good information gained for Rare Atom. They know that there's 2 towards water. Bomb still sits patiently towards Fountain. It's going to be a little while before either team really decides to make a move. Child King jump spotting, but it's going to be WUgaSsS to find the first frag of the round and make his presence known towards B short water. They knew there was a player in that area, but they don't check it as they walk through that smoke, and that will be costly for the T side.
A little bit of additional pressure now being applied towards the monster area too, something that was neglected somewhat in the early portions of the round. Messiah just going to try and retake this area, a quick smoke on towards Heaven, but it's all going to be a bit of a ruse as they're all leaving through the connector, looking to try and make their way into the A site. They're meandering up here for now. The intent is most certainly there, and now Jamyoung has been spotted out on the long position. A player hard left, trying to tuck himself away, keep himself obscured from vision until the time is right to strike, and that's Martin, currently scoreless, but looking to try and find a big score inside of this round. It's not to be for him, just the one, but only 8 seconds remaining. The entry frags are prevalent from Mercury, and he finds another one. He's ripping heads every time he gets in towards this A site. WUgaSsS and Child King now with it left all to do. A 2 versus versus 3 for the pair of them, and now they have to try and find the entry, try and isolate this down into as many one-on-ones as possible, the first of which is being taken towards Optimus, the truck, waiting, trying to present an opportunity. Kaze gives it, and Child King capitalizes, gobbles down that first frag like the insatiable demon that he is, as Mercury and Jamyoung now try and hold station, one at divider, the other wrapping around towards the long position with the AWP, anything to stop the bomb from being defused. It's tapped, and then the frag comes in from WUgaSsS, but there's Mercury. He stops it, puts the round to bed, and once again sorts it out with another 3K atop of this A site. A splendid round from him, and a splendid round for the Rare Atom side as they go 5-0.
That is back-to-back-to-back 3Ks from Mercury. He's on fire right now. That is insane stuff from the man, keeping things incredibly competitive for Rare Atom. And you know what the most upsetting thing about that round is? LAN actually legs Jamyoung as he comes down long through the wall. If he'd have eliminated that target coming towards the A bomb site, eliminated that pressure that Jamyoung was applying, he perhaps could have done a little bit more from the truck position. Instead, he just gets obliterated. His cranium cracked. And with that, the round falls to pieces for WUgaSsS, as does their economy. They can go for a half buy here should they decide to do so. It looks as if a deco round might be on the cards. Yeah, the Deagle's coming out with scraps of utility and armor behind them. The Rare Atom are sitting so damn comfortably. Pretty much full credit because of Mercury's actions. And I'm looking forward to see if Mercury can keep this up, because this is a dazzling performance from him thus far. And just so much better than he was playing yesterday. Yesterday, he just seemed out of the park. Oh, bingo. Oh, gas! They're going more! The Deagles are menacing! Choking! No! Not like this again! They did the same yesterday on the Pistols versus Rare Atom, and now the 3v2, they bagged an AK on Martin. Martin in from the backline! Oh, it's a catastrophe! Rare Atom, how do you always let a round like this slip through the net? Goodness me, WUgaSsS. That is a punishing round if I ever saw one. And that's going to be living rent-free in the heads of Rare Atom as we head into the 7th.
Look, I know it's a cliche, and people say this a lot, but why even bother buying guns when WUgaSsS consistently finds success with these half buys, the CZs, the Desert Eagles, the like? It's just constant. Their affliction to get these weapons into positions in which they can get frags consistently over and over and over again. Rare Atom absolutely punished, like you said, inside of that round. They tried something aggressive and they got bodied for it. The early boost in towards water, that was great. That starts things off, but then the hit from Monster comes on in because the water pressure's been stemmed and they can divert their attention and land another 1v. And from that point, the advantage can start to spiral. This time, though, Jamyoung takes no prisoners. He spams through the smoke and gets lucky with a nice little stray bullet that lands in WUgaSs's head. So that's not going to be a nice start for the WUgaSsS side, despite what may have unfolded in the previous round. They have a lot to work with, but time is still dwindling for Rare Atom, and space is also starting to be suffocated away from these CTs. Mercury, once again, looking to try and be the entry boy towards the A site, and I'm sure that he would have just heard Martin get tagged. Advent goes for the spray again on that information, and that makes it another 5 versus 3, a 5 versus 2, as Mercury taps down one more. The A site is busted wide open with only one player who's just been hiding towards long to defend it. As now it's going to be a split, 1-1. Child King on the B site, LAN on the A site. And Child King's got a lot on his plate, but he can't get anything done. LAN gets one. Is he going to be able to take on this? Is he going to feel comfortable going for this aggressive retake? I think not. He's the only player with residual cash, which means he's the only player that can drop if he saves this rifle. So I think best path of course, best course of action here is for him to just stay alive and play his life.
I mean, he's got full util. He's got an AK, armor, CZ, defuse kit. If he goes down, that would be catastrophe for WUgaSsS, as he can drop and comfortably reinvest going into the next round. But you were talking about the arguments for the A4 over the A1S. Bingo's position in Bathroom is one of the perfect arguments for the A4 over the A1S, because that pesky barrel sticks out so far that he just gets one-tapped by Jamyoung before he even has a chance to react. With that, LAN does save over his precious cargo, I think. Oh, Jamyoung, don't do it to him. No, LAN does survive. And with that, he can drop 2 players on over. Rare Atom, though, they are spiraling out of control as they stand 6-1 in terms of round count. And just all of the players playing impressively, especially Mercury with a 3 KD right now and 149 ADR going into round number 8. It's just impeccable stuff back to back. And also, I did see a question in chat that I'm going to answer quickly. Why do all of Rare Atom have the same agent skin? And it's actually because it means you can't tell who you've tagged, because it's not like matchmaking. You can't just open the console and see how much damage you've done to X player. It just makes it all the more confusing because they've no idea who they've shot. And so it's not just a fancy team uniform, it is actually a tactic created by King23. As that is a pretty nice swing there from WUgaSsS. Good trade as we keep things competitive in a 3v3. Good information as well as he sees one more player towards short.
Yes, indeedy. Subtle tactics that go a long way. Just making sure you got that advantage of information being stripped away. Is LAN going to go through this smoke? That's the big question for me. The little miscreant tries to go through it, but Jamyong catches him as the smoke dissipates and obscures his vision no longer. Jamyong now with free access in towards the B site. There's just one player who's just about making his way towards heaven, but I feel is now coming down to assist towards the entrance to the B site. They're both forced back away by the Molotov that lands at their feet, but Bingo might be looking to get reaggressed on this. He's got the assistance of WUgaSsS, who's going to go ahead of him with the CZ, try and draw fire, or better yet, find the frag, and now recover the AK-47. It's going to be one player on top of the site and one player towards construction. It's going to be a tough fight to take, but Mercury once again activates, and so does kaze. They find their 7th. It is comfortable thus far on Overpass for Rare Atom, and you can see why they picked this map now.
Yeah, that was a great crossfire there in the post plant as well. Mercury and kaze just dancing around pillar and short. And the fact that Mercury is so fast, he spins on in and finds that first frag instantaneously, eliminates any threat of them being able to lose that round. Well, I say any threat. I have seen worse happen. But yeah, it's complete outnumbering towards Monster. And with that, a 7th on the board. 6-round lead for Rare Atom on their T side. When yesterday, as you pointed out, it was very much a CT-sided affair. Now, Len, up close and personal towards middle with his AWP. Scoping on in, sees nothing through that smoke. Oh, just misses the head of the bomb carrier, swinging on past. But he should be able to find a frag onto Mercury here, should he continue to aggress. No doubt a flashbang will be expended. Oh, that flashbang is brutal. LAN has been spotted. LAN has got his head removed by Mosaic.
So nice.
And that's such a great bit of team play there from Rare Atom. I completely agree. Martin has a lot to do in middle, and he's going to be caught with the smoke in his hand. Oh, wow, nice readjustment. Fair play to him. But Mosaic is there to quickly cut him through, and the timing on that is naughty as Child King staying behind the connector smoke just long enough to allow people to slip past as Bingo full blinded by kaze.
Perfect.
Means Mosaic can get another frag. This is just perfection, as you said, utility all the way round.
These flashbangs have been nothing short of spectacular. Almost every single time. It's been, well, in this round at the very least, you saw it. It was well constructed, well orchestrated. They had an inclination or a little bit of prior information that LAN was going to be up on towards the party area. They orchestrated a flashbang for the person who was peeking round from long to go and get a nice shot off onto him. And then they know from that point, LAN's trapped in. He has to take a fight on his right or try and escape through the left. So you just hold one person to his left and he can't escape. He gets taken down. And the same thing is true. You've got to push through a smoke over on towards the A site, a long position. So what do you do in that situation? Well, you have to flash through it. And the flash came from the player so far back. It was called, so they turned anti-flash. They were unblinded faster than the player that was hit square in the nose with it. And as a result, Rare Atom take the site for scot-free. And better yet, on top of all of that, they have the brilliant play of Messiah, who sits inside of the bathrooms after getting that fortuitous timing to go through after the player connector, which I believe was Child King, did not push through the smoke there, and then just waits, hold station, make sure the flank isn't going to happen, because you can see that shadow before they cross over into the site, or into the bathroom, sorry. So you get that forewarning, and it was well played by Messiah in that particular instance. He gets everything out of it that he could possibly want, and his team get everything out of it they could possibly want as well. And just 10 rounds in, the half has already been secured by Rare Atom. They've got the 8th round, which means they cannot lose this half from this position.
Yeah, and the fact they got 8 rounds on a T side of Overpass is just even more impressive. I would argue that Overpass is currently the most CT-sided map in the pool, even more than Nuke, even more than all the classics, especially after Ancient's update. doesn't give a damn about my analysis. He analyzes the fact that there's 2 on B and tries to cut down both of them, only succeeding in 1. This is a very promising round for Wings up here. Bingo, firing off with a Desert Eagle again. He's had great success with it before, but Kaze is still standing, cut down by LUlaN. And against the odds again on a weaker buy, it will be Wings up to find that second. It always seems to be the weaker buy is what Wings up thrive on. So again, the question comes back, why buy a gun?
Why buy a gun, indeed? I, again, don't know how that round goes astray. All it takes is just 1 player, apparently, or 2 players with a rifle that they've picked up off of someone's corpse, and it all goes tits up. So, Rare Atom need to be a little bit more diligent, I think, in those situations. I think they're taking their foot off the gas when they recognise that there is no weapons in play, really. It's something you see a lot. A lot of teams fall victim to this kind of mistake. It's hubris, I suppose you could say. Whichever way you look at it, it's still a round given over to Wings up that surely should have been secured by Rare Atom. So let's try and slice this a different way. What can Wings up do in this game at the moment, in their current situation, to try and rectify their mistakes, right their wrongs, and get themselves back into a winning position, Tom?
Win rounds?
Gee, that's why they pay you the big bucks, isn't it?
No, on a serious note, though, they've been outmaneuvered a lot. They need to be, I'd argue, a little bit more present in the map, and they can't afford to have players that are so isolated they can't be traded. The reason that they're winning these low buy rounds, or these pistol rounds, is because they're playing as a unit. They have people to trade off of them, and for some reason they have this overconfidence to just play solo on the gun rounds like Martin is doing right now. There is nobody anywhere close to him to trade should he get pushed through this bathroom smoke. And it looks like Mercury's out to do that now.
Oh my God!
That's a gorgeous one-tap from Mercury. And look, there's nobody here to trade him. LUlaN does finally pick up 2 of his own on the A bomb site.
Like
and that is impeccable from the man. Can he keep this up as they continue applying the pressure to him? He's peeking around the corner, sees the back of Advent, and now it's all down to Kaze and another 1v3. Finds the first in that 1v4. He's being played with here. Bingo does get his head removed. But look at this. WUgaSsS has fired too early. Waiting perhaps for his teammate in Child King to come up from bathroom, but no, Kaze not like this. And the time runs out. I'm too distracted by Kaze that I didn't realize the time was so low. Thankfully, for his economy, he's able to pick up an AWP. But that is very well played by Wings up there. They realize they don't need to take those engagements unnecessarily. And as soon as the shot is missed by Child King, he scampers away to ensure that the bomb cannot be planted.
Just one of those things, I'm afraid. Wings up getting another cheeky little round out of it, but it just seems to be these tight-knit, close rounds that Wings up are winning. They're not really dominant by any stretch of the imagination, which doesn't really fill you with brimming confidence for the way that this CT side is going to be playing out. Already with it being Overpass, it's just inherently a bit more of a CT-sided affair. And not by much these days, I would say, but there's still something to say about CT being the preferred side. Mercury is just getting every entry frag under the sun this game. His timing is impeccable. His shots are crispy. Even with a Galil, he is able to out-duel an M4A1S at a reasonably mid to long range as well. So that's decent starts there for Rare Atom. And now they're looking to try and refocus their efforts down towards this B bomb site. The frag towards A means they have to spread their resources on the CT side just that much thinner. As now WUgaSsS and Child King play back to front inside of construction. They're looking to try and make sure they're not going to get flashed on out. There's a boost over the top of the sandbag, a second player there, and they're already going to be dissuaded from pressuring on through the construction area. In fact, it may get a whole lot worse. They're running back up connector. Bingo's ready and waiting. An incendiary down at their feet, and all of a sudden this round became a bit more of a sticky wicket.
Oh, stop it, Mosea. That is just dastardly. Manages to decapitate Child King whilst Child King is expecting the peak. But LUlaN has had a resurgence somehow, somewhere in the past few rounds. Goes for a jumping no-scope. But Mosea is going to cut him and his compatriot down. Mosea is on a mad one in that round. I can hardly keep up with what's going on here. But Rare Atom, they found themselves a 9th, and Wings Up are trailing. They're flailing. They've been shot out of the sky. This is just another round of clay pigeon shooting for Rare Atom. As Wings Up, they are just flailing.
Looks like Wings Up need an update to get themselves going here. Software seems to be a little bit out of date. And they are just playing... Well, they're playing similarly to the way they played yesterday on Overpass, but it seems that the adjustment has been made from Rare Atom. They've woken up today. A couple of different gamers. Mercury especially is a different gamer today. Remember yesterday he started 0-7, went 1-9 I think for a while on this map, and then when it switched to the CT side is where he activated. At that point, Mercury became quite potent on that CT side and ultimately was a key to victory for Rare Atom on Overpass yesterday. The difficulty was they didn't have such a Herculean, such a mammoth, such a behemoth T-side to back them up with that one, and they've got exactly that here today. And Mercury has been the catalyst, the driving force for almost all of that as well. So let's have a look to see what's going to happen inside of this round. Are we going to get more Mercury entries? Well, one would certainly hope so, but LAN has other ideas about that one. The Deagle finds its mark on towards Mosea. The Deagle tapping away, but again, the flashbangs are just so perfect. Mercury completely unobscured finds 2. Kaze with the flash assists on both of those, and the 10th round for Rare Atom. It doesn't get much better than that. A clean anti-eco, as they only lose 1 player in all of the mess.
Our budget Disney hero in WUlaN is only able to find 1 on the Desert Eagle this time. And it seems that sometimes you do need rifles. It's unbelievable from the way Winged Up have been playing. Rare Atom, they are just storming through. Mercury has 132 ADR and 21 kills in round number 14, by the way. Just a quick update on the man, the myth, the legend. It's clearly gone from room temperature to ice cold in his veins right now as he's solidified into a fantastic fragger. And if you're not keeping up with my science puns, then perhaps Wings Up more your pace, as they're not keeping up in this game at all. Still only 3 rounds to their tally, and they are not getting anything. Something that they were so good at on their CT side last time was their constant pressure towards B short. But as they keep getting bodied time and time again all over the map, they've lost confidence to go for these aggressive plays, to use the util to take that short presence, and it really isn't paying off for them at all. Mosea, oh my goodness, what are you trying to do? Jump up onto a non-existent roof point there? But Child King, one of the heroes of Wings Up, is also going 3-12 right now. That's a 0.25 KD buffers, and that is not the Child King you want to be seeing in an elimination game from the major Chinese closed qualifier.
No, Child King yesterday really was on a different gravy. He was entering, he was being aggressive, he was doing everything right for his team and really was the driving force behind them finding what successes that they could. He was so strong yesterday, he managed to pull them by their socks, really, straight up into this map as well. You remember yesterday, they were looking a bit worse for wear, and then Child King kind of activated. He managed to get up towards, I think, like 26 frags or something like that, and it just became a bit of a nightmare. Nice shot from Lando. That's reassuring, but Jamyoung on the rebuttal. Bingo trading back once more, but Jamyoung still alive and still kicking. Martin over towards the water area, gets 1 more onto Advent, so this 2-pronged assault becomes single-pronged. Child King can't get it done. Jamyoung on a 3k, now looking to try and get that bomb planted. Kaze is unobscured, but WUlaN, the boy, up from heaven with the W, finds the frags and gets the 4th.
That's gorgeous stuff from the AWP. I'm glad to see that at least somebody on the Wings Up side is having a resurgence, because, well, LAN and WUgaSsS are the only ones really getting much work done here. Bingo had a fantastic Deagle round where he shut down an entire round pushing towards the B site. On the flip side, Rare Atom are just looking fantastic. I mean, even Advent is playing admirably here. 7-10 might not be the best KD in the world, but on Advent standards, that's like the 24th day of your Advent calendar. That's a real nice surprise right there. The Child King, oh no, oh Child King, stop it. He's gone down again without a single frag, and Mosea and Jamyoung decimate this B bomb site. Mercury slipping straight back for another frag, and well, this is going to be a 11th round on the board for the side of Rare Atom. What can Martin realistically do in a 1v5 where every single one of his opponents has basically 100 HP? That is disgusting from Mosea to finish off as well.
That is a fantastic half from the side of Rare Atom. We saw 11-4s yesterday on T side, but that was on Inferno, not on Overpass. And the CT side is yet to come, which means that bigger and better things could soon be promised. The prince that was
Wow.
promised in Rare Atom has finally arrived. They were the team that was supposed to be the best team in China at the moment. They were supposed to be one of the top dogs. Lin Vision, who were not really supposed to be any kind of contender, walked through them yesterday. They walked through Tyloo, and they're in that grand final at the moment. This is the consolidation final. Both of these two teams have lost already. One of them lost to the team they're playing. The other one lost to Lin Vision. So there's lots of pride to play for still. Wings Up have still got one more half to get their act together. They need to pull their socks up, roll their sleeves up, and get stuck in and get dirty with it.
And another thing to note, as this is the culmination of 2 years of rivalry. These guys have been back and forth for a year and 11 months in best of threes, best of ones, all in the Chinese region. And I guess this is the ultimate decider of who is the better of the two. The one that makes it to the finals of the major qualifier, or more specifically the RMR qualifier, because whoever gets through this qualification still has to play in the Asian RMR, which is going to be a very fun piece to watch, as you've got Chinese teams, Mongolian teams, Asian teams, and Oceania teams all competing in the same match. And so far, the Australians have been having a bit of trouble. The ex-Greyhound boys, or the not Greyhound boys. It's a confusing one. They got bullied on Vertigo, and I'm pretty sure they got knocked down to the lower bracket quite early.
Yeah, that's all going on.
The tournament here, I see a lot of surprise faces in chat, because Tyloo is not here anymore. Tyloo got destroyed. They lost 2-1 against Wings Up, and they got who was the first person to put them down? Lin Vision 2 owed them 16-10, 16-10. Just another day at the office for them. The lowest ranked team in this tournament, according to HLTV, is currently the first into the finals with a flawless 4-0 streak.
Yeah, they've been doing very, very well up to this point, Lin Vision. And let's just not remind our viewers here that the team that wins this matchup will play Lin Vision in that grand final for a spot at the Asian RMR. Just in case it wasn't clear enough already, that is exactly what's going to be happening here. And Rare Atom, desperate for revenge, looking like they are finally here to play. Yesterday was very much an off day for them by the looks of things. They were not the ranked 23 in the world team that we expected to see out of this Chinese qualifier. They were really, really flat. They struggled to overcome Wings Up on 3 separate occasions. They really struggled against Lin Vision. In fact, they got 2-0'd. While some of the maps were close, they opted into Vertigo, which was nice, and then they even got beat on their home map of Nuke, of which they had a 100% win rate as well. So the question there becomes is, where do you feel comfortable? Are you going to run it back on that series later if you get through, like you have done so here against Wings Up? Also, let's just not write Wings Up out of this one yet. Sure, Child Kings had a rough start. Sure, the rest of the team hasn't been playing as well as they were yesterday. But all it takes is one of them to just activate a little bit, cause a nuisance. Maybe Mercury just falls off a tad from all of his entry fragging. And this game has a very different complexion. Dominoes start to fall in a very different way. We're getting back into the matchup shortly by the sounds of things. Players are just getting ready to ready up. A little break in the half-time. But we'll still be here. We'll still be here. Overpass anyway. 11-4. Tom, what do Wings Up need to do on this second half?
Again, they need to win the pistol. They need to get themselves spiraling into a couple of rounds. The pistol could not be more important for them right now, especially with everything that's on the line. And I know it might be hard to take me seriously in this current shirt that I'm wearing, but as we head back into this game, I'm hoping, for the sake of competitiveness, for the sake of this being the last map one of these two teams will be playing, or last series one of these two teams will be playing in this qualifier, we need a good game from them. We need something strong, we need something powerful. And Wings Up, they were able to deliver on that yesterday, although it was on the other side. Mercury, well, you said he wasn't going to be going back to his entering ways. He's already tried to find the opening frag in towards middle, unsuccessful this time, but he does escape back to the A site, and this will be good information because a rotation up to A from Advent. He spotted a couple of players towards Banana on his jump peeking, and with that, the smoke can be deployed at a moment's notice.
It's going to be a big hold on the site here from Advent, and he's not able to get it done. Child King, Martin, and Gas all finding frags. And that looks to be the first pistol round of the series for Wings Up. The difference between today and yesterday has been exemplified by the pistol rounds. Rare Atom have gone 3-0 on pistols today, as now Wings Up are prime position to take their first. Kaze ready to round the corner. One player ready to swing on him, and Child King just removes his head. No need to have that anymore. It's going to go for a wobble, and so is Jamyoung's. Lan finds the shot with the recovered USP. That's a 5th round for Wings Up, the first of the second half, and now they can get their act together. Now they can start to get the AKs and the weapons under their belt. Meanwhile, the same is not going to be able to be said for Rare Atom. Do they act for the Force Buy, or do they opt for the pistols? And it seems they're just going to go with the pistols for now. Buy in round 3, a much more conservative approach to what we see out of most teams. Rare Atom recognizing that they've got rounds to play with. They don't need to do anything audacious or scary. They can just hold their advantage. They clearly feel they're the better team today. They've got this.
Yeah, I feel like it's a return to the older days of Counter-Strike, where people wouldn't just force buy like maniacs going into the second round. And I like that style. I like being able to buy in the third round, having that competitive nature to it. Wings Up. Also like the fact that Rare Atom will not be buying into this one. It will just be the pistols and a single flashbang on Advent, and this should allow them to pick up a couple of eco frags, stat pad a little bit. So for Martin and Child King, that'll be a welcome thought, as they are really struggling in the fragging department right now. Kaze, Mosaic, and Jamyoung. It's a bit of a difficult setup to get through towards the B site. It will certainly require a bit of comfortable fragging. Advent is ready to hit the flashbang, and now that they have been spotted, the flashbang's gone over. Lan is completely blinded, but he's still firing his gun. Mosaic runs out of ammo, and they do get 2 kills for their trouble, but I don't see Advent being able to do much here. Instead, Mercury on the rear flank decapitates Child King. No, please, not on an eco round, not like this. But Mercury has now been closed out of the bomb site. It looks as if he will be not long for this world. 5 HP to his name, 2 players to take down. And as much as it is a fantastic effort there from Rare Atom, I don't think they'll be getting too much more in round number 17.
No, likely not, I regret to say. But it's still a really strong performance. At least financial damage is being done here by the Rare Atom side, with nothing more than USPs as well, and maybe like 1 P250 in the equation. Having 3 frags is mental to get out of all of that. And that means that the bomb plant comes in as well, so that does offset some of the financial damage a fair amount, but you can look at what they've got currently. $2,500 for Martin is not enough to get an AK-47, and in fact it's only enough to get a Galil and a Molotov and a smoke. So there's not really much on the offering for him, but everybody else does manage to get through it nicely. The difficulty is that when Rare Atom get the guns in their hands, i.e. now, if they are able to win this round, it'll mean that the finances for Wings Up are looking somewhat scuppered. Rare Atom lie in wait, as they've already found that first frag in connector. WUgaSsS will try and reapproach. Oh, Kaze takes a dink, I think, from the Galil, or if not, it was from an AK-47 through the toilet sign, as now, over the top, he leaves the A site. Into bank he goes, tries and seeks refuge from the oncoming onslaught. Kaze readies his scope, waits patiently to see who is going to round the corner. At the moment, it seems nobody. At the moment, it seems Child King. It's just going to be patient with the rest of his team. They're going to bide their time, try and bait out some aggression from the Rare Atom side, but at the moment, it seems nothing is forthcoming, Tom. Rare Atom playing with discipline. It's so good to see.
Yeah, Kaze will have that discipline pay off, and by the way, he got dinked through the sign, because he doesn't actually have head armor, so the Galil would have been a one-tap still. But yeah, very, very lucky to have his life saved by the toilet sign there. But Lan, will he have the same luck behind his smoke? His shadow has been spotted. Kaze knows what's coming, and he lets off a shot perfectly timed, leaving just Martin in a 1v5. Something that he had to wriggle his way out of at the end of the first half, but there is no escape for Martin. Kaze claws him to his grave, and with that, it's 12 on the board for Rare Atom, and despite being on 10 HP, Kaze still picks up a 3k back on that A-bomb site. Perfectly played by them, and as you said, great discipline. They look far more well put together than the Wings Up side right now. And something else I want to point out, the opening frag where 2 people swing into lower connector is perfection. That's what Wings Up were avoiding doing. They weren't taking any map control on that CT side, and we didn't see any rear flank connector pushes from them. We didn't really see anything from them on that CT side that gave to a higher caliber of thinking. Joe's been sleeping a bit today, but Mercury certainly hasn't, as he sprays down 3 in connector, almost a 4th, but WUgaSsS finally puts an end to him.
That's a nice little spray down, but let's talk more about what the consequences of that 3k in the pistols, when the pistols were in play, for Rare Atom. The consequences of it have now been felt. The ramifications of it are quite huge. As you can see, the finances for the Wings upside are still not fantastic. Bingo here, not going to be afforded an AK-47. Same with Martin. So that's going to be far from ideal for this T side. Just those 3 frags resets the loss bonus when they lose the round. Therefore, they don't get that much money coming in from losing. It hasn't accrued, it hasn't stacked up. And then they are hamstrung now moving forward. Rare Atom, on the meanwhile, only go from strength to strength, financially speaking. It's now Kaze. Is just dissuaded from taking that shot, but not dissuaded from the repeat. That's very spicy. Mercury resides in Connector, looking for his 28th frag of the game, currently on a trajectory for 30 plus. He has been on a mission this map, and it really shows that he is angry after his performance yesterday, after how Wings Up humiliated him on Overpass for the first portion of the game. Now on the CT side, where he was comfortable yesterday, he's starting to look comfortable again. A perfectly timed flashbang from Advent. The discipline is there once again. A drop into Connector. This time, WUgaSsS is able to best him. It's still a 4 versus 3. The hot hand is removed from the server, but Messiah is ready and waiting on top of the A site, and he's had a hot hand recently too. Kaze also in from long. Manages to find the frag to trade things away. Lan sits up, ready and waiting. The flashbang is insufficient to dislodge Lan from the flower bed, but now the peak will be enough to get him off it. Wings Up in a 4 versus 2. Do they elect to save? Do they elect to go? Surely all their information is being carded up here with now Jamyoung on a flank as well. It can't be good.
Jamyoung is in the perfect position here. Look at that. They run straight into his crosshairs, and Lan has dropped the bomb. Shot in the back of the head and finished off with a shot to the spine. Yeah, he's definitely not going to be feeling too good after that one, as WUgaSsS immediately closed down afterwards by Mosaic, and this is impeccable from Rare Atom. They got 16-8'd yesterday on their own map pick of Nuke by LinVision, so on their own map pick here, they want to make a statement against Wings Up, who is arguably the weaker team out of LinVision and themselves. As they keep going through, it's just bullying at this point. And as much as we do clown on Advent, I do have to give him a lot of credit here for his impeccable utility usage. His flashbangs have been astronomical in finding his team a lot of opening kills, a lot of sort of defensive kills as well, as they're stuck back on site in tough positions. Advent has been the mastermind behind both the strategy and a lot of the utility here. Isaiah only good for damage in this one, as Mercury has found himself his 30 bomb. Advent kind of cleans up. I'm going to have to bite my tongue a bit there, as WUgaSsS is still here fighting, got an AK in tow, and if he can't win this round, then that does spell trouble. It's going to have to be a nightmarishly difficult 1v3, but it's such a necessity, and my god, that bullet landing centimeters away from WUgaSs's head would have been able to close down things then and there, but still 1 minute and 5 left on the clock. And WUgaSsS is on the prowl.
Not anymore, he's not, I'm afraid. He's going to be taken down. Mercury is insatiable. 31 frags, 130 ADR across 22 rounds is quite the performance from Mercury. And it's nice to see that when you don't necessarily have your stars aligning for the Rare Atom side, when you don't have Mosaic perfectly performing, when you don't have Jamyoung quite as good as he would want to be, and Kaze is just doing what Kaze needs to do with the AWP, you can have a player who can double all of their fragging output at notice. He's not really the star man for this roster, but sometimes when you play entry hard like he does, you can just have one of those games where things go very, very well. This, unfortunately, is not one of those rounds, though. He's lost his head through the smoke this time, and that does complicate matters ever so slightly. Mosaic is going to take a chunk of damage from that HE grenade as well. It's the same with Advent. And now Jamyoung holds station at barrels. He hears and sees players coming into the site. Mosaic holding station 2. Jamyoung gets 1 before getting traded away. Lan ready to try and take the stead of this assault. He's pushing in, getting aggressive, trying to take matters into his own hands. Advent falls instantaneously. A 3 versus 2. Flashbangs in towards Graffiti. He sees nothing, and that could be what exactly Mosaic needed. Right beneath heaven here, Kaze ready to drop down, ready to drop out. Flashbang right in the eyes of Lan. Still nothing going here for the Rare Atom side. They're still prowling, still looking for an opening, still looking for a frag, and you think once they find it, they might be able to explode. They might be able to be the catalyst onto this, but the time is dwindling down. They do both have kits. Mosea somehow finds that frag onto LUlaN. Now they've got to press forward. Time is ticking, and it is ticking seriously quickly. The AWP is still yet to find anything, and thankfully for WUGASsS, they play it to perfection. They hold their nerve, they do not peek on out, and they live to fight for another round.
Yeah, they get very close on Rare Atom there, but thankfully WUGASsS have a response this time. It's not going to be cheap for them. They lose 3 players in the process. And off the back of that, LUlaN is seriously strapped for cash. I do believe that is an AWP drop for him on the floor, though, so he will still have a weapon coming into this. As the second top performer on the team, he needs to be well equipped. On the flip side, Child King, 5 in 19, Martin, 9 in 19. And Martin, one of the players that I pointed to as being a pillar for the team, just consistently finding the amount of frags required to get WUGASsS into good positions. He flopped on Mirage quite heavily, and he's not recovered since. He had a bad first map, he's having a tragic second map, and Child King has also been completely absent today, dropping over 30 frags on one of the maps yesterday. Has just been asleep. The man who was a Deagle mastermind, he's just been nowhere to be spotted. He's had one notable round in this entire series so far with Mercury on the flip side. I was anticipating him to find that frag, but Child King finally finds himself another entry instead of just sticking around in that lurk role that got absolutely nothing done for him over on Inferno for the majority of the time. kaze will miss a shot towards long here, but now that the man of the hour, Mercury, who I have put down in my notes 7 separate occasions for multi-frags, and that's only covering 3Ks, I believe. He's out of the round for now. Can Rare Atom do it without their hero player?
One would certainly hope so, and kaze is going to try something a little bit different. Combat AWPing, but just whiffs the shot. Advent now with it all to do on top of the site. He's getting run down and unfortunately not finding the headshot. Jamyoung, last player remaining, and if I'm Jamyoung here, I'm not interested. I'm leaving. I'm saving this M4. Money is still not fantastic for Rare Atom, despite their successes. Some of these last few rounds have been quite close, and when that does happen for the CT economy, it does tend to dwindle. The CT economy is still relatively expensive, with extra prices for incendiaries and the extra necessity to buy a kit. That in itself is $1,000. So you've got to be a little bit more forgiving of your finances on the CT side, and Jamyoung recognises his situation well. Gets called to the save, recognises he has a kit, full armour, and an M4, which is always going to be useful moving forward. So we'll just hold on to all of those assets and hope they appreciate in value into the coming rounds, which I'm sure they will. As WUGASsS do find their 8th, they're starting to get themselves bedded in, a few more comfortable frags getting started, and Child King with 2 nice ones inside of that round, one of which was grossly important on the bathroom's position to stop Mercury from multi-fragging again for the 8th time this game, with your very helpful stat called into my call there. Rare Atom still, though, with the advantage at 15-8. Not financially speaking, they'll have to take a little bit of a back foot this round, one would assume, but they are going to take a pause to discuss it, which is quite nice to see.
Yeah, they've got an interesting buy going on the Rare Atom side. And it's good to see that kaze is also coming into his own. He was all right on Overpass yesterday. He was definitely one of the key factors in their ultimate victory. He really stepped up on that CT side. And I believe it was Mosea who had an impeccable start on Overpass. But he completely fell off on the defense, and that was picked up by Mercury. But Mercury's just been an all-rounder here. He has been firing on all cylinders. In fact, every barrel you've given him so far, he's found a frag with it. On the flip side, WUGASsS, there's no point even highlighting the troubles that they have at the moment in terms of players as individuals. They need to start playing as a team, and everyone needs to start hitting their shots better. WUgaSsS, thankfully, has shown up to play today, but if only he could have brought that on Mirage yesterday, perhaps that scoreline of 16-14 would have been a completely different story. LUlaN, very unlucky to be missing that shot there, but they do have good information that there are still 2 players in towards mid. Jamyoung, he's sticking around for now. He's got balls, I'll give him that. As another shot rattles out from the AWP, they decide to fall off their heightened position and try and hold on to that coveted A4. They don't want to have just 3 USPs up against the onslaught of WUGASsS. Although, to be fair, they're not too shabby on those USPs if round number 17 taught us anything.
Well, I mean, it taught us that they might be able to find 3 frags, but not a round win. But I suppose the difference being here is that kaze has the AWP. He's been spotted, and he's found a shot, no less. There's Jamyoung as well with the M4, about to rotate on it now to try and help out. The AWP does not land its shot. That's the most important shot of the round so far. Mercury has to lie in wait. I don't think he'll get anything from this position. The player in water is ready to relieve him of his duties, and Jamyoung once again may be called into the save. Unfortunately, the forced AWP that Jamyoung carries through and gives to kaze does unfortunately not get the job done. As much as I'd have loved to have seen it work out, it just does not, sadly.
I saw someone in chat call this jam time. I quite
Jam
like
time.
that.
Jam time, yeah.
It's jam
nice.
time.
It's jam time.
Or if you call him Young Jam, that does sound like his rap name.
Young
And there is
Jam.
a nightclub here on Overpass, you know. I'd pay to see Young Jam.
Jamyoung could be the nightclub's name as well. Nightclub names are, in the UK at the very least, are wide and varied.
Some of them are very questionable and weird.
Yeah, it's quite strange. So where I'm from, the club is now called Pop World, which I believe is like a chain of clubs.
Yeah.
I think it was previously owned by a different chain as well, and it was called Fever. And I don't really think that I'd want to go to a club called Fever.
Especially after COVID.
Exactly. I think that's possibly why they got bought out and rebranded.
Deary me. Oh, but wings up. They're looking to avoid a rebrand and make it through to the major here. Rare Atom. Rare Atom actually had a rebrand of their own not too long ago. They used to be Vici Gaming. 3 of this current lineup have made it to the major before, and have had the propensity to upset both G2 and Fnatic in the past. Fnatic, admittedly, at the time, were terrible, and have only just recovered from that period of being pretty damn bad. They had a UK lineup for a little while, which was fun to watch. They had an 18-win streak, but it was very much Tier 2 and Tier 3 opposition. But Mercury, playing up against the best opposition that this region can muster, has found another frag, putting him on to 32. He has an over 2 KD in round number 25 as Mosaic chimes in as well and cuts through Martin. Advent catches Bingo as well, and this could well be it, ladies and gentlemen. This could be the round that eliminates Wings Up from this major qualifier. WUgaSsS has done everything he can in this one. 25 kills to his tally, which is more than double almost all of his team combined with the exception of LAN. Yes, he's continuing to creep towards the safe bomb site, knows he needs to multi-frag here, otherwise this will be the end of the dream, the end of the major run, looking for the head of one of these players, and Advent will catch WUgaSsS completely unawares. LAN last alive, Mercury cuts him down on the rear flank, and ladies and gentlemen, just like that, it's going to be Wings Up eliminated from this major qualifier. Rare Atom have bagged themselves a rematch up against none other than Lin Vision in the finals of this China closed qualifier for the Road to Rio Major. Whew.
Yeah, that was really impressive from Rare Atom, considerably better than they were able to muster yesterday. Very happy to see it.